Toronto Star just released a video that was very, very inebriated, and
who are you talking to?
It's just on a... All I can say is, again, I've made mistakes. All I can do is reassure the people that I don't know what to say. I just wanted to come out. I want to, so you know.
You're talking about in the video, sir.
Your colleagues want you to go away. Why won't you go away?
Well, you know what? I just wanted to come out and tell you that I saw a video. It's extremely embarrassing. The whole world's going to see it. You know what? I don't have a problem with that, but it is extremely embarrassing. And I don't know what to say. I'm again and again. I apologize. When you're in that state. When you're in that state, I hope none of you have ever or will ever be in that state, and that's all I can say. It's
What it was about.
there's
Give us some context, Mayor.
obviously, I was extremely inebriated.
Just with alcohol?
Okay, so that's all I have to say for now, and then we're.
All right, that was Toronto Mayor Rob Ford making another surprising announcement today, very unexpected. He came out and he said the Toronto Star newspaper has just released a video. He was very emotional as he tried to address what was in that video, but all he said about it was he was very, very inebriated. He said, again, I've made mistakes. Then he said, I don't know. He paused. He said, I saw a video. He was speaking, of course, of the Toronto Star video that's just been released. And then he said he was extremely embarrassed and that he hoped none of you will ever be in that state. But he reiterated several times that he was extremely inebriated. We're going to follow up on this story, of course, but Rob Ford coming out again, addressing as he did the other day, also talking about how inebriated he was previously when he smoked crack cocaine, he said, for the one and only time. Watching all of this unfold at Toronto City Hall is Stephen D'Souza. He joins me now live. Stephen.
Well, Carol, what an amazing scene that was. Just in the last few minutes, as you were just telling the audience, the Toronto Star has posted a video that's about 1 minute and 10 seconds long, showing Mayor Ford in a state of inebriation. We can only assume making these very threatening remarks, a lot of gestures, a lot of threatening comments. And so just right after that video began circulating here amongst the press corps, Mayor Ford emerged from his office, and I hope you were able to see his comments. But what the mayor said was that it's very embarrassing. He says this video is going to be seen now around the world, and that he was in a state of inebriation and he doesn't know what more he can do. What the press gallery were asking and what people around him have been asking throughout the last few days is, will he step aside? Will he seek help? But the mayor, though, not responding to those calls, not giving a direct answer as to whether he should step aside. Those calls coming from a lot of his own very close confidants on council, friends, as well as other politicians, calling for him to take some time to deal with the very serious issues that he is dealing with. But it seems the mayor is resolved to continue on, and so as you saw what the mayor had to say there, he's going to continue on, but not going to step aside for now to seek help for the issues that he's dealing with.
I want to let our audience know that CBC does possess this video. We are looking at it and we are making trying to make, excuse the term, sober determination about whether to release this video or not based on our principles here at CBC. We're making that decision as we speak. But the mayor had something to say about it today himself. He said the Toronto Star just released it. He said in a very emotional way he was very, very inebriated. Again, I've made mistakes, and he said he's extremely embarrassed. But there were also people, Stephen, asking questions in that scrum, people yelling out questions. I wasn't sure exactly what they were trying to say, but there's no question there is a lot of pressure on this mayor to step aside at the very least.
That's right. Some of the questions are on one level were just what was actually taking place in the video, because the video itself there's no context really for the video. It's not clear the time frame, who the mayor was speaking to, who the mayor was speaking about, just in what context he was speaking. So really, it's hard to make a judgment on the video based on that level. So those were some of the questions trying to be shouted out to the mayor, but the very basic questions were that I was asking and trying to ask, and a number of those around me were trying to ask, is why won't the mayor just step aside and seek help? Because it's clear that he has some issues, and it's clear from his own admission there that he was very, very inebriated in that video. The question is, why he won't seek help? This is not just a question that, of course, the media are asking. This is something that many councillors here are asking. We know that earlier in the day, before this video came out, one of the councillors, Denzel Minnan-Wong, was saying that if the mayor won't step aside, if he won't go under his own power, then perhaps it's up to City Council to ask the province to step in. In response to that, though, the province and the Premier has said that she's not willing to step in just yet and that she wants to let Council decide. There is a Council meeting next week where this motion will go forward. Just how much support it has, we can say it has a large number of support, but one person that doesn't have support of this motion is the Deputy Mayor, Norm Kelly, who told us that he believes it's not up to Council to tell Mayor Ford to go, it's up to Mayor Ford to make that decision, and Norm Kelly believes he can be the one to convince him. He told my colleague Jamie Strachan earlier that he will be meeting with Mayor Ford at some point today to have that conversation with him. However, that comment to Jamie was made before this video came out from the Toronto Star, so how that conversation changes,
right,
we'll have to wait and hear afterwards. But,
well, you know, Stephen, I was talking with the Deputy Mayor, Norm Kelly, yesterday afternoon, just before I finished my program live here on the CBC News Network, and I think he, at the time at least, these things are changing very quickly, no doubt, but at the time, yesterday afternoon, he seemed very invested in the motion that he would bring forth, that he wanted to strip the mayor of his powers. He wanted 2/3 of council to change the bylaw temporarily in the City of Toronto to strip the mayor of his powers to appoint and dismiss his executive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a motion that he definitely supports, but I think it's really gone beyond that. And I think the feeling from a lot of councillors is that that motion won't go far enough, and that even if they do strip the mayor of his powers, he still remains in office, still remains here at City Hall, and that's just a situation that many councillors feel is untenable. And so, while even in his conversation with CBC earlier today, Norm Kelly was comparing Rob Ford to a football player, saying that he's just someone who is kind of stubborn, will put his head down and just plow ahead no matter what the consequences are. And he says that he was using a hockey analogy, Norm Kelly was, saying that when it comes to the NHL trade deadline, teams don't trade for rookies, they trade for veterans, and that's who they bring in to get the job done at the end. And he was saying that himself, Norm Kelly, is a veteran, and he's the one that can come in and hopefully convince Rob Ford that it's time to step aside and work on some of his problems away from City Hall. But how that's all going to play out, from talking to a number of people here around City Hall, it's not clear who the mayor is really getting advice from or who he is listening to. So whether or not it's his chief of staff or whether or not it's the councillors closest to him, friends or family, we don't really know. And from some conversations, it seems the mayor is really calling the shots here himself and not really taking advice from anyone.
All right, and I want to let our audience know that we are looking at that video now. We are looking at it with a view to perhaps running it. We want to make sure that it's legally possible for us to run it. We want to make sure it's in accordance with our principles of journalism here at CBC, to know as much about this video as possible before we run it. Having said that, the one thing's in the favor, probably we will run it under just because of the fact that now the mayor has reacted to it and reacted to it so strongly, saying just minutes ago, and soon, any moment now, we're going to rerun the tape of Mayor Ford and what he had to say. he addressed the video, saying that the Ford said, saying that he saw the video, it's embarrassing, and the whole world is going to see it. As I understand it, we have that video, okay, of the mayor saying what he said a short time ago. Let's watch.
Who are you talking to? Who are you talking about?
It's just on. All I can say is, again, I've made mistakes. All I can do is reassure the people that
Mayor Ford.
I don't know what to say. I just wanted to come out. I want to, so you know.
Who are you talking about in the video, sir?
So.
Your colleagues want you to go away. Why won't you go away?
Well, you know what? I just wanted to come out and tell you that I saw a video. It's extremely embarrassing. The whole world's going to see it. You know what? I don't have a problem with that, but it is extremely embarrassing. And I don't know what to say. I'm again and again. I apologize. When you're in that state. When you're in that state, I hope none of you have ever or will ever be in that state, and that's all I can say. And
Tell us what it was about, Mayor. Give us some context, Mayor.
Obviously, I was extremely inebriated.
Just with alcohol?
Okay, so that's all I have to say for now, and then we're.
All right, we do have the video. We've made a determination that we are able to show it to you, especially since Rob Ford also saying the whole world is going to see it. Here's what he's talking about.
Because I'm going to kill the fucking guy. I'm telling you, it's first degree murder. But I'll
Give me the phone. I'll let
no holds barred, brother. He dies or I die, brother. I'm talking no. Brother, you've never seen me fucking go, brother. You think so, brother? But when he's down there, I'll rip his fucking throat out. I'll poke his eyes out. I will when he's dead, I'll make sure that motherfucker's dead. I need fucking 10 minutes to make sure he's dead. It'll be over 5 minutes, brother. So I've done it 10 minutes out.
After you win,
brother, it'll be a bad. I'm a sick motherfucker, dude. But no one's gonna fuck around me. My brothers are. Don't tell me we're liars. These birds. Little birds like this is fuck, daddy. My Randy was a person. Like 80-year-old birds, bro. Right. But this shit, brother, I just need to go fucking by myself. With my fucking underwear. I want to go with Zach. I need 15 minutes. That's all. No fucking interference, brother. If I win, I will fucking donate.
These guys are pros, buddy.
Yeah? No problem, bro. No problem. I need 15 minutes. I need 15 minutes.
Too much time.
No, I need
5 minutes.
No, I'm not doing it for 5. No. I'm doing it 5.
Perhaps I should have warned you about the language that you're about to hear. My apologies if that caught you by surprise. Something else I have to tell you about that video, it was paid for by the Toronto Star. They are running it on their website. It has become in the news cycle. The mayor addressed it just moments ago, saying he was very, very embarrassed and that he was very, very inebriated. Stephen D'Souza is joining me from City Hall now. Stephen, we all heard about the existence of this video for a little while now. Can you tell us a little more context about what we heard there? I mean, do we know who the target of his wrath is?
That's the right question. We don't know that. We don't know the context of the video. We don't know who the target of his wrath is. We don't know who the voice is off camera. Or you can hear someone off camera talking to Mayor Ford there. We don't know who that person is. Don't know who took the video. Well, at least I can't say we do. But we also don't know when it was taken, what he's referring to. It appears somebody made comments towards himself and his brother that he felt were quite inappropriate. One thing I should point out, though, Carol, in terms of what we just saw a few minutes ago, the mayor coming out and speaking to reporters about this video, it's quite unprecedented for the mayor to address a development in this scandal so quickly. Between the time the video actually became public and was put online, and the time that Mayor Ford came out was probably about half an hour. I'd say less than an hour for sure. So the fact that the mayor came out to address that directly is saying something. Perhaps it's signaling a change that the mayor does want to address these things a little more directly. But as you heard from all of the reporters yelling out, there are still a lot of questions. The context questions about what was taking place in that video, but also about the fact that he doesn't seem to it appears understand perhaps just the gravity of the issues that he is dealing with. If you heard closely what he said there, he said this is going to be seen around the world, and he doesn't have a problem with that. That could be troubling, and we've heard from addiction experts in the last few days saying that it seems like the mayor is in denial over the issues that he's facing with right now. And he even said, I hope none of you are ever in that condition. He said he was very, very inebriated. So how the mayor is going to deal with that is a question everyone here at City Hall is asking. It seems that he is willing, though, to come out and address these developments a little more head-on, but still not providing all of the answers that people are asking for.
Okay, Stephen, I'm sorry. We're also, while you've been talking, we're working out when to show the video again, and also talking about, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the context of this, because it was only in the last few days we've been hearing from Rob Ford on a regular basis, and of course we were all shocked to hear Rob Ford admit that he had smoked crack cocaine. He has, in essence, admitted he has a problem with alcohol. He says he's not an alcoholic, but there have been occasions, Stephen, when he said, have you seen me? It's a problem, for sure. And he often uses the fact that he's drunk as a reason for doing the things that he's done. For instance, in this case, he said, I was very, very inebriated. This was extremely embarrassing, but he said it several times. He was inebriated. The other day, he said he had smoked crack cocaine because he was very, very inebriated. Does the mayor come out and say, I have an alcohol problem?
The question, I mean, the mayor has basically sort of danced around that issue saying that, but at the same time, is that really, the question a lot of people here are asking is that really enough cover for his behavior? Is it simply enough to write it off and say, I have a drinking problem and when I get drunk, these bad things happen? Well, a lot of people here around are saying no, it's not. And they're not talking politics here. They're not talking about being from the left or for the right. They're talking about this as a real human tragedy, as a person who is dealing with alcohol issues, perhaps other issues, that needs help and should take some time away from all of this, from the spotlight, from all of the pressure of running a city with a $10 billion budget to get that help. And it seems that everyone seems to think that that is the right course of action, except for Rob Ford. So
the other interesting that we've learned, Stephen, from all of this is that, and I think this was a surprise to a lot of people, that if a mayor finds him or herself in a situation where many people agree that they can no longer carry out their duties, there's virtually nothing that can be done short of sending them to jail through the criminal courts to get them out of office. It's more or less up to them to do it, or the electorate at election time.
And that's the quandary that councillors here are finding themselves in. They don't have legislation that exists in the U.S., for example, recall legislation, or some legislative power that could force them to remove Rob Ford. The only thing that really exists is if he is convicted of a crime and serves jail time, and that obviously hasn't happened. So what happened today was one of the councillors saying if the mayor doesn't step aside, he wants council to say that it's up to the province to make that legislation. And to make that legislation, sorry, one of the councillors was just walking by as I was talking, but to make that legislation, to give them the power to do that. But it seems that there's still a little bit of divisiveness over whether they should do that. The premier is saying that she doesn't want to step in and do that as well. But it's just fascinating that, given all we've seen over the last few days, that, a video like this...
Is someone about to speak there, Stephen?
Yeah, Councillor Adam Vaughan is speaking, but he's not really... He seems to be avoiding the media. He's actually heading just back into the office area there, so we won't be able to show you that. But it's just, given everything we've seen in the last 3 days, I mean, this video people are almost numb to this behavior and these types of videos now. So Mayor Ford seems to think that it's up to the electorate next year. He said that in his apology on Tuesday. That's up to the electorate next year to make their decision. But there's a lot of people around here that don't feel it should get that far.
Okay, so one video we know for certain, two videos, in fact, that are part of evidence against a friend of the mayor. This new video coming out courtesy of Toronto Star today that we just showed you and we'll show you again. The mayor responding to it. This is an explosive video, literally, is the mayor of Toronto in a rage. He came out a few moments ago to explain that he was very, very inebriated. Listen to what he had to say.
Who are you talking to? Who are you talking about?
It's just on. All I can say is, again, I've made mistakes. All I can do is reassure the people that
Mayor Ford.
I don't know what to say. I just wanted to come out. I want to so you know.
What are you talking about in the video, sir?
So
Your colleagues want you to go away. Why won't you go away?
well, you know what? I just wanted to come out and tell you that I saw a video. It's extremely embarrassing. The whole world's going to see it. You know what? I don't have a problem with that, but it is extremely embarrassing. And I don't know what to say. I'm again and again. I apologize. When you're in that state, when you're in that state, I hope none of you have ever or will ever be in that state. And that's all I can say. It's
What it was about, Mayor?
there's
Give us some context, Mayor.
obviously I was extremely inebriated.
Just with alcohol?
Okay, so that's all I have to say for now, and then
Another explosive announcement from Toronto Mayor Rob Ford, saying he was very, very inebriated, addressing the fact that the Toronto